What's going on, and welcome back to SPN Lineups featuring Philly D and Steve the Fantasy Assassin. Check us out on Twitter at SPN Lineups. You can find our videos on Facebook and Instagram. Today we're talking NBA after a little mini vacation. Check us out on CryptoFantasySports.com. We have our very own tournament, the SPN Lineups Special. We run it every day. It's free to enter, and we give away $10 in no limit coin. The catch is you have to include a player I'll be naming later in the show on your roster in order to be eligible for that prize. Congratulations to all the winners while we were gone for the Easter break, and congratulations to yesterday's winner, Adam China. Congratulations. Leave a comment with your NLC2 address, and we'll get that prize shipped to you. Steve, how you doing? Good to see you.
Good to be back. I feel kind of well rested here.
Hey.
And ready to just dive right back in. Last night's top scoring players. This is a list of guys I'm sure you've heard of.
Russell Westbrook is on fire lately. 77 fantasy points last night. He's 21.6% owned. Returned a 6.5x value, baby.
And that's why he was last night's SPN Player of the Day.
Yeah.
Another big name, James Harden, 70.5 points. Now, he was only 2% owned, and he came back with 6x value. A rare night where going with either Westbrook or Harden was kind of 6 or 1/2 dozen the other for you.
Nikola Jokic, 58 points. He was 38.5% owned. Returned just shy of 6x.
LaMarcus Aldridge, he turned in a beast effort at 57.75 points. 4% owned and 6.5x on the value.
Kevin Durant, 57.5 fantasy points, only 5.9% owned, only 5.1x.
That's not good. We got
Not
some
getting it done.
better values from last night, though I don't know about these names. You might not have heard of these guys before.
Jose Calderon, 11.2x. It was only 3,300 yesterday, 0.7% owned.
Yeah, that's not very high ownership percentage. But nothing compared to Kem Birch. 10.9x at the $3,100 mark. He was 0.01% owned. Raise your hand. Who got Kem Birch?
Guilty. No. Justin Jackson, 10.5x at 3,800. Only 0.3% owned.
I think the 0.3% was the guy thinking that he was the Jackson from Phoenix. Who knows? Danwell House, he is from Phoenix. 9.5x at a 3,000 bare minimum price tag. Though that one wasn't too much of a surprise. 39.1% owned.
Tyler Dorsey, 9.2x at 3,800. 1% owned.
And we got some guys with much higher ownership rates from yesterday. Starting off with
Kyle O'Quinn, 67.7% owned. Got 39.5 fantasy points for a 7.7x.
Yeah, people were pretty smart last night. Got Danwell House, 39.1%. He came back, like I said, with 28.5 points on a 9.5x.
Jokic third with 38.5% owned. Again, 58 fantasy points, 5.9x.
The first dud of the night, Ben Simmons, 38.1% owned, and he only brought back 40.5 points for a 4.2x, but don't be scared of him tonight.
Chasing those fantasy points with that pick and this one, Trey Burke, 36.9%. Finally ran flat, 24.75 fantasy points, only a 3.8x. Wah, wah.
I did manage to avoid that one. 6,600 was just way too much for Trey Burke last night.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got for tonight's slate?
6 games, baby. Dallas, Memphis, and Atlanta in full tank mode. So we'll talk more about them in the value pick section.
We start off with the Pistons and the 76ers. Now the bookies say this one's going to be around 215 total. Blake Griffin's out for Detroit, and now Drummond is questionable. So this would change quite a bit for the Pistons. So make sure to keep an eye on Drummond's status as we get closer to game time. I already like Reggie Jackson at 5,700 even before I heard about Drummond sitting, and he gets a huge boost if Drummond does sit this one out. For Philly, Embiid is out, and Simmons usually has been kind of a beast without him. And Robert Covington's also getting a lot more usage. He's a guy who's going to get a decent amount of points no matter what, so he's got a decent floor. Not a great shot, and he's usually fighting for scraps as like the 4th or 5th scoring option. So with Embiid out, it does help him out a little bit.
We got Dallas at Orlando. Snooze Fest, USA. Line is 198. We got Barnes, Nowitzki, Powell, Smith Jr., and Noel all out for Dallas. Well, that just took a terrible team and made it even worse. A little nervous about what Orlando might do now that Dallas is resting everyone. They might hold out Gordon since he's been plagued with injuries a lot this year. JJ Barea and Yogi Ferrell are going to be popular picks, but I'm not going down that road. I'm going to go with some of the deeper values on the Mavericks side. We'll get to that later.
We got Boston at Toronto. This one should be pretty competitive. I'm definitely liking Lowry and DeRozan here. They're just shy of 8,000. And a couple guys in the 5,500 range, Jaylen Brown and Serge Ibaka. There's a lot of other guys in this game that should hit around 5x value. Horford, Morris, Tatum. But I don't really like their ceilings as much for their price tags. Now, the Celtics are definitely dealing with tons of injuries, but they do seem to be backfilling them pretty well. And the bookies are giving them 7.5 points in this game, and I think it's going to be a lot closer to that, though I'm not necessarily ready to take Boston on the money line.
We got Miami at Atlanta. Line is 205. Dedmon, questionable. Schrader or Schroeder?
Schroeder.
Schroeder out for the rest of the year. Miami could still be without Bam Adebayo. Check his status closer to tip-off if you plan on playing Hassan Whiteside. John Collins is only 5,100 for Atlanta, and I think he might be the best pick of the night. Philly's views do not necessarily reflect those of Crypto Fantasy Sports. Just leaving him out of the value picks at 5,100 though, but he's worth mentioning.
I like him too. Memphis at New Orleans. I don't know if I like this game, but we're going to talk about it anyways. 216 the bookies are expecting, so basically Pelicans 150, Memphis 66, right? So Memphis has still got Tyreek Evans, Harrison, Selden, JaMychal Green. They're all out. The Pelicans do actually still have to win this one. So I like Anthony Davis and Holiday tonight, maybe even Rondo. Maybe even Mirotic, I don't know. Probably not because I'm going with John Collins, but Gasol should play for Memphis tonight. He may be a sneaky pick at 6,900, but I'm looking a lot more towards the value plays for the Grizz tonight, of course.
San Antonio at the Los Angeles Lakers. Line is 208. Spurs still have to win this one. Lakers aren't in all-out tank mode, but they are eliminated from the playoffs, so they are, in my mind, in all-out tank mode. LaMarcus Aldridge is up to 9,300, but he's been bringing it. At least 5x value in 9 out of his last 10 games. Randall and Kuzma Maybe worth a look, although they have not been returning 6x value since I can't even tell you. I don't like them at their current price tags, and I'll probably fade both.
We got tons of value picks for you today.
Lots!
Man, tons of them. So we're going to start off with the point guards. Patty Mills for $4,500 for San Antonio, and Shelvin Mack $4,300 for Orlando. I kind of like these guys in the same category. They've been returning in the 20s pretty consistently lately. There's a chance they get into the 30s. I don't really see much else as far as the ceiling. Marquise Teague, he's one of the guys I was talking about from Memphis. It doesn't seem like they're playing Mario Chalmers anymore, and they really don't have that many guys that can handle the ball. I'm not a huge fan of him, but for $3,200, he could be worth the risk. Kyle Collinsworth is another guy in the same boat. We told you all the guys that Dallas are resting tonight. Kyle Collinsworth, $3,100. If he gets 30 minutes, it's pretty much easy 20-25. He could even post 30. Over at the shooting guards, we got a pair of guys from Atlanta that have been doing really well lately. Damian Lee, his price tag's up a little bit. He's still bringing back about 30, 35 lately. And same with Tyler Dorsey, who I think got like 38 or something last time out. Correct me if I'm wrong, but 3,600 is a great price tag for him. Now we look at Ben McLemore for Memphis. He's kind of in the same boat as Marquise Teague. With all these guys sitting for Memphis, there's just going to be a ton of minutes to go around. And he was, I think, like the top 3 pick or top 5 pick in the league a couple of years ago. So I could see how they'd give him a little bit of run just to see what he's got near the end of the year. Aaron Harrison, $3,000 for Dallas. If you're looking for a bare minimum salary player, I pretty much can say the same things about Kyle Collinsworth as I do about Aaron Harrison. They're going to get some minutes tonight, and I have a feeling they'll bring back at least 5 or 6 value.
Dylan Brooks, small forward, probably be a popular pick, $4,600 for Memphis.
And Stanley Johnson is also $4,600 for Detroit. He's probably not going to be a popular pick, but then again, if Drummond is out, you never know. Doug McDermott, $3,300 for Dallas. This one I think is really sneaky because he's got the ability to shoot tons of threes, and I could just see him taking a lot of shots this game with a lot of other players out for Dallas. And then really, really, really sneaky is DeAndre Bembry, $3,100 for Atlanta. He put together some really good games earlier in the season, and he's just missed the last, I think, month or two being injured. And he's just come back the last 2 games. It seems like they're kind of feeding him in a little bit slowly. But if he can get 25 minutes tonight, I see him being great value for $3,100. And again, over in Dallas, kind of the same story as a lot of the other guys. $3,800 for Maxi Kleber. He's just going to get a lot of minutes. He's going to be Dirk's replacement. And $3,800, you really can't go wrong. Same thing with Amir Johnson, filling in for Joel Embiid. He's probably one of the toughest guys on the team with Embiid out, so he'll draw a pretty solid matchup, and he should be in the mix for about 20 minutes tonight.
Pascal Siakam, $3,700 for Toronto. Probably one of the only competitive games on the slate tonight. Why not take a value pick from it?
Yep. Boston's going to be pretty light on the bench, so I'm not 100% sure how much Siakam will actually play, but he matches up well against a lot of different guys, so they could throw him out there 25-30 minutes. Who knows? Ivan Rabb, he's a guy, $3,300 for Memphis. I'm not a huge fan of him. I still think he's got a lot to go before he really is an NBA player, but he's going to get minutes tonight. $3,300. There's worse options. Miles Plumlee and Salah Mejri, both in the same category. Just minutes. Getting minutes. With Dedmon out for Atlanta, I could see Miles Plumlee getting another 20-25 minutes like he's been the last couple games. And with Nerlens Noel sidelined for Dallas, Mejri's pretty much the only big guy they've got tonight.
He's all they got. Finally, we get to the SPN lineup special player of the day. Make sure to have him in your SPN lineup special tournament roster to be eligible for that prize of $10 in no limit coin. Tonight's player of the day is point guard from Toronto 700, Kyle Lowry. Get him in your lineup. Make sure to check out CryptoFantasySports.com. You can sign up using the links below. Check us out on Twitter at SPN Lineups for injuries, news, and updates. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Leave us a comment. Share the love. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Check out all the links below. Good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow.
We're back.
Yeah.